episode 272.
Derogatorily means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek, giving you the info you need to achieve mega nerd status. NetHeads.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
No one listens to the radio. I wasn't even listening. I was listening to podcasts. Podcasts are great. Radio's boring.
And that is what we will continue to tell people until the end of podcasting time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of NetHeads. My name's Will.
And I'm Trent.
Hold on, I gotta bang the mixer.
Bang a drum. Bang a ba-da-ba.
There we go. No, okay. Thank you for going that way. When I say bang a mixer, it sounds a little more filthy to me. Anyway.
Oh, like drinking mixer real fast. Jokes. I know where that naughty mind of yours went.
That's right. I'll tell you right where it went, into the Infinity War. Anyway, folks, welcome. If you want to take part in the program, you can one of many ways. All right. By the way, one of them, Trent, is actually, believe it or not, Facebook and probably YouTube too, because it looks like things are actually working for once. But anyway,
that's what we're talking about.
It's not really what we're talking about. What we're really talking about is the ability to take part of the conversation, or take part in the conversation on Twitter. Trent, how do they do that?
Yeah, like those other ways are awesome. Don't know for sure if we'll see them, but we will see them if you use the hashtag NetHeads. Not unlike at Carval, that's with a K, Ryan Connolly, who's listening live.
Excellent. I love live listeners. Now we, for those of you that
rather than the dead ones.
Well, no, I thought you meant anyway.
They're not being very active in the listenerships.
No, they're not very responsive at all. You know, I'd really expect a little more from. Well, I guess they'd have to be our undead audience, though. That's the thing that you're forgetting. Yes, very true. So anyway,
wait, but aren't we undead because we're alive?
No, the idea of the undead is something that is it's no longer dead, but it was dead. So you'd have to, in order to be the, I guess.
Oh, once was dead. Okay, yeah. So like Jesus.
Or actually, you know what? You put it that way. So if I come back, like if they use the paddles and it's like clear.
Yeah,
and then,
you're totally undead.
I am, right? That's the excellent.
By definition, yeah, I would think so.
I'll take it, man. By the way, if you don't take part on Twitter and you want to try and give us a call, can't make any promises, but let's just say NetHeads on air via Skype. And the reason why is because we, folks, it's the Monday after the Infinity War, Avengers Infinity War. And
oh, man.
We're going to get there. Believe me, we're going to get there, but we're just not going to do it right now. And let me explain. For those of you that are not watching live and you're listening to this after the fact, first of all, thank you. Appreciate it. We love having you here. And for those of you watching live as well, thank you. Love having you here. By the way, I figured out, Trent, what we need to do is we need to divide and conquer. So if you have a way to like bring up, don't do it now because I don't want to totally. Every time we throw one little thing in, you know, it's the straw that breaks the camel's back. So we won't do it now, but like for the future,
they don't even know how long it like took us to figure out this to start this show.
Oh Lord!
For the 3, 2.
That was last week, dude. Don't. Bring
I know, but I'm saying we figured it out. But the beginning of this show, they didn't even hear how, we thought we had it. You throwing something into the mix, it's going to take a while.
It's funny you mentioned that because the past two shows, I've said, well, I don't know, Trent, it's the streaming isn't working, so it's just audio only like the good old. And I have those podcasts, by the way, on video. Maybe eventually I'll post them. Neither here. Nope, don't say it, Will. So, but I did like really quick. I started the stream and I started the recording the video file, and then I thought, wait a second, it didn't connect 2 weeks in a row. I know I double checked the Facebook settings. I did this, I did that, but oh wait a second, let me check just the streaming settings out of good old open broadcast studio here, and sure enough, in one of my upgrades, suddenly it just grayed out all my stream, or it took me to YouTube land instead of we use a service called Restream.io. So that's
awesome.
I love it. It sends us to Facebook and YouTube, and it would go to Twitch too, but nobody watches there, so fuck it. That's my take on it. I mean, I don't mean to bring it so harsh and so quick with the language, Shrimp, but you know what we're getting in for. Anyway, this is all rambling. I apologize. If you're not watching this live and you're listening to the podcast, you may have noticed, and this is me predicting the future, Trent, you may have noticed that there are now two. I love when the screen freezes, and I'm like, it always grabs us in the worst possible. Yeah. Anyway, you will have noticed that our stream has delivered to you two different episodes. There's 271A and 271B. Because eventually they will be one podcast. But for right now, what's going to happen is we're streaming live to you right now, but then what we're going to do is we're going to cut the video.
Yeah.
We might leave the audio running over on, if you know how to get to Sir, it's like smodcast.com/Sir.
Yeah, we just tweeted it out.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can go to netheadsonair.com/live too. You will have the ability to listen to the NetHeads episode of your choice. The idea is that we will actually publish the spoiler one second, so it would be the latest one you get. But if you listen up, there's no right way to do this, because if you listen in chronological order, you'd get screwed. But if you listen, in that case, you'd be fine. But if you play the latest version first, then it's a no-win. There'll be I guess the easiest way to put this, since it hasn't been created yet, is that one will have a severe spoiler warning at the beginning anyway. If you are here now hearing this and you've heard that, then you know what the hell happened.
Yeah, you know what's coming.
So there's going to be two different versions of this podcast. We're going to cut the video then. So if you're watching us on the YouTubes or you're watching us on the Facebooks, you can do that until we go to switch to that one. The reason why is because right now we're here as a support group. We're here to hear you out. We want to let you talk it out. But this particular instance we're in right now, and if you're watching it and you're seeing it, this is the spoiler-free zone. This is where you don't have to be afraid. You know, if you're like, I love Avengers, but Lord, I hate crowds, so I don't go opening weekend.
Which is normally my case.
I'm not that way. At least for certain. Look at it. I could wait for Black Panther. Anyway, there's a spoiler only podcast, and then there's this one. We want you to be able to talk it out. But if you're going to talk, let's not talk spoilers. What's a spoiler? Generally, any plot detail, anything specific. Like, for example, I could say about Avengers Infinity War that I thought that they made a very bold choice, and I appreciated the way they kind of incorporated some of the source material, even though this is war and the elements really were taken from Gauntlet. See, this is a nerdy detail, but shit, you know what? Even that could be a spoiler. Never mind. Forget you heard that. Just ignore it. If you haven't read anything about either one of them, exactly. That's why you're the pro, my friend, and sitting on the other side of this microphone camera thing.
Oh shit! Did I do something?
Yeah,
I just didn't hear you.
You said the right thing. You said the right thing.
I did there?
Yeah, that was good.
Good.
I understand. That's well played. You've outwitted me, sir. Which not too hard. Anyway, even that could be a plot deal. So ignore that. But I could just say that I really like the movie. I could say that it held my interest from beginning to end.
Sure.
That's not spoilerish. But
no.
If I say that during one part of the movie, then that's not cool. You can't say that kind of thing.
That part where Jesus, who is in fact a lich, according to Ryan Connolly on Twitter, not an undead but a lich.
Oh, gotcha. There you go. See that? Not really too Can you just not? Are we now officially doing two different podcasts? I'm confused.
No, because
am I cutting out because you can't hear me?
Jesus was an undead.
Oh,
and then we talked about how Ryan Connolly was using Twitter earlier. I'm just keeping things cohesive.
Oh, well, I was trying to talk about how you don't want to say anything spoilerish. If you want to reach out to us, Skype, NetHeads on air. But before we get to that, unless somebody chimes in, which nowadays I really don't expect you to, so that's fine. But I will ask.
Just saying, Lee Velasquez is just dying to call in. I know it.
One of these days, he's gonna do it. I know it. It's coming.
You ain't feared to do it, tell you what.
No, sir. I should be switching to you when I'm looking away, trying to because I'm like, oh, maybe I should look at the. Maybe it'll help if I looked at Twitter too, and that way we could incorporate people's ideas there. Uh, Ash Williams giving a spoiler. There's a very big dwarf, which is true.
Okay.
Which is that was a but that's not. Come on. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's not
Yes.
very spoilerish, is
We'll
it?
get into that later.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's his cue. Yes, it is. Shut up, Dick. Fine. But we're here to talk it out. Before we get there, however, oh yeah, look at that. Zulu Punk says, "Evening Netheads, saw you were live. Thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah,
Nice
that's
to
what I'm
see you.
talking. Bobby J. I don't know if he goes by Bob, but thanks, Robert.
Yeah, thank you, Roberto. I mean, if you want to butcher names. I just realized on the PC now, because I set some things up, the Twitter alerts may just pop up if I'm mentioned in them. So
Oh,
that would have been wow. Why didn't we think about that before?
yeah.
Oh, and Lee Velasquez is there. Good. Well, dude, if
Yeah.
you want to chime in.
Yeah,
Try
because
and-
he's watching in on the Facebooks.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to chime in via Skype, go ahead, knock it out. Before we get to the Avengers of it all, however, I wanted to kind of first do a quick catch up with you, Trent. Anything been going on or anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, in preparation, I watched the Ant-Man finally last week, and then this past week, I watched Black Panther to get up in it, so to speak, and just making sure I had all my my dots covered, my I's crossed.
Understand, and that actually brings up an interesting topic because when I did go see the movie, I don't think it's a spoiler to say that Vision and Scarlet Witch are in this one, guys. Okay?
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's yeah.
But my wife had no idea who they were because she hasn't seen Age of Ultron or
Yep.
Civil War, right? So there are
Yep, and yeah, in my opinion, that's the biggest flaw with the film is that if you haven't seen those other ones, there's no further character development for these characters, already established characters.
Well, no, definitely not because well, never mind. We'll talk about that in the next section again.
Right.
But that's that's true. There's very little, even though there is some character development because we're actually seeing that. Shoot,
Yep,
spoilers. Gotta save it for later.
Yeah.
But you're right. See, so that wasn't accessible, but that led to a conversation I had with a coworker today, where it's like I was suddenly put on the spot. So I'm interested to hear your answers because shit, why don't we make everything a game like I like to?
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's the idea: you've got to give what you consider to be the bare minimum watch list for somebody to understand cohesively what's going on for Avengers Infinity War. Okay?
Like bare bones.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. Don't worry yourself about viewing order for now.
Yeah, right,
Just
right,
worry
right.
about the movies. Although I will tell you, if you kind of go in the chronological release approach, I feel it makes it easier, but that's up to you. So what's your idea? What's your pitch? And then I'll tell you what mine was.
Yeah, bare bones wise, I would say if you watched all three of the Avengers movies and Guardians 1, if you watched those three, just bare bones, you would at least know who all the characters are in the film.
I'm trying to think if I agree with you.
And I guess yeah, because that introduces Spider-Man as well. So yeah, so that would be Avengers 1, 2, and 3, and Guardians 1.
See, now you're starting to slip into the same problem I have. Why am I not?
Yeah.
Why am I not seeing the comments?
I think that would be the bare bones approach. A lot of people, though, at least that I talked to, were thrown off by not knowing who the Guardians were. And I don't think that's a spoiler to say that the Guardians are in it. We that's fairly common knowledge.
Yeah, definitely. Now I actually went a step further. I guess you're probably accurate with the bare bones. If you do go all of the Avengers and you go with Guardians 1, you do kind of get the gist.
Yeah.
What I suggested was a little bit more, so that way really you're not questioning too much of the overall plot. My idea was that you have to watch at least Iron Man 1 and 2 because Iron Man kicks it off, so fuck you, pay tribute.
Pay a homage.
Exactly. Homage, my friend. You got homage to pay. So you have Iron Man 1 and 2. From there, you can do Cap 1 and 2. Well, all the Captain Americas. You got to watch them, in my opinion. At least 1 and 2. I think 3 as well, but not so much. Because Civil
Is
War...
there a third one yet?
For Captain America, that was Civil War.
Yeah, that was the second one.
No, second one was Winter Soldier. See, it gets confusing as shit now that it's a decade later, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Whoa, there was that whole Winter Soldier thing where we first find out that Bucky's alive. Spoiler. Anyway.
Yeah.
So you have to have all the Avengers, all the Captain Americas, the 2 Iron Men, and then finally, my take was also Guardians 1. If you hit those beats, you could fake your way through the rest, but you still wouldn't know who certain characters are. So then you got to say, well, maybe, okay, you need Guardians 2 as well, right? Because that was the introduction of Mantis.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yes. Oh man, you're right. I always get Civil War. For some reason, I just assume that's an Avengers movie.
That's because it was the stopgap Avengers movie, basically.
Yeah.
It was also
for some reason I thought that was Avengers 2, and then Age of Ultron was 3.
Well, I think that
or vice versa.
I think somewhere along the line, somebody realized that we need to have something to kind of get these people separated because our grand vision for the final movie needs it. More about that later.
Yeah.
And so at that point, that's where kind of Civil War came. Civil War also felt like a massive, like, mea culpa for Age of Ultron to me. I don't know why. It just came off that way. But I think those are the movies you would definitely have to watch. I mean, you don't, because with Civil War, you also get the introduction of Black Panther, and you don't need to worry about any power-giving herbs or internal political structure troubles or anything like that. You don't have to worry about it. It's like
so while we're here, can I? Because I hadn't seen the Black Panther yet.
Yeah,
and it was entertaining. For action, popcorn munching, summer blockbuster movies, I kind of gauge it by bathroom breaks. So how many points within the film I could see myself waking up and going to the or not waking up, sorry, standing up. Yeah, it's really bad if I have to wake up.
Oh shit!
But, and we've talked about this in the past. How it would be brilliant to have an app that would like just vibrate in your phone whenever like a 5-minute span was about ready to start that was voted on as being like a bathroom break point.
Yeah, all you have to do
vibration.
all you do is you choose your movie, and at the moment where the movie officially starts, you hit start. And then it just does like a little tap, tap, tap to let you know if you got to go.
Yeah, it could even sync with when you check in, like with your Movie Pass app or whatever. Anyway, that's old news. But there were 3 distinct bathroom break moments in
Black
Panther and 0 in Infinity War.
I felt the same way about Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Like, there was
0. I would not. You cannot pry me out of the seat. F you. But then again, that's the other thing too. You got to. I think I'm safe saying this. But one of the things I appreciated about this movie, Avengers: Infinity War, is it tells you everything you need to know about the movie you're about to watch in the very opening. It puts it all on Front Street right there. This is the movie you've now signed up for. Okay.
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. I agree. Yes. There's no pretenses that it's not just gonna. We're off the blocks running from the start.
Yeah, and in the other section, I'll also talk about the parallels that I liked about the opening of the movie.
Oh, nice.
We'll come to that later, though. So many things that beckon you into that second section once you are a veteran, like we all are now, of the Infinity War. Not that I'm trying to take that away from anybody. I'm not making a slight of service, folks, but I'm just saying I'm trying to make a cute parable with war, and that was just dumb. Let's move on.
I get it. Sorry, it took me a minute, but I got it.
Well,
I got that.
See, exactly, because the best jokes exist are the ones you have to explain.
Yeah. Totally.
It's funny you mentioned Movie Pass, though, Trent.
Yeah.
By the way,
did you get one?
No, I don't have it. I don't have Movie Pass. You're a big fan, though, huh?
I friggin' love it, dude. It has changed my my enjoyment level so much. And I don't understand why theaters don't start doing this on their own, because I now, budgeting wise, can afford to buy more popcorn while I'm at the movies, and that's where they really make their money, not in ticket sales.
Yeah, that's where the rake is. It's all in the, I'm telling you guys, like, because it was for the longest time, as I understood it anyway, the studios took a major chunk of the ticket sales in the first few weeks. That's why
just getting the film there.
Yeah, that's why second-run movie theaters are able to show the movies for so much less, is because they're just basically paying at that point. Anyway, nobody cares about the business of this. MoviePass seems great. It's $9.95, and you can buy one ticket a week or
a day.
One ticket a day. Now,
a day.
Interestingly enough, Trent, in the news today.
No!
MoviePass preventing repeat viewings of Avengers Infinity War as it opens that weekend.
Oh, just probably just for the weekend. I could see that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because some theaters I know, like the Larry H. Miller theaters, who owns all the theaters here in Utah, had stipulations saying that no discounts or passes were available, but usually for anything that's out the first week. But MoviePass is allowed, just like no certificates or anything like that.
By the way, it sounds like you may be in a grandfathered plan now, because it has gone from one a day to just 4 a month.
No kidding.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was retro on yours. If you got grandfathered in, you might want to look into that. I don't know anything about it. But even that,
I'm lucky to go. Once a weekend is still great for me.
Well, it's still if you get one ticket per subscription per week, you're still ahead. Because I had to
way ahead.
I had to. Oh, Trent.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The lengths
Why you gotta bring up old shit, Trent?
No, the lengths I go to, Trent. There's a certain rationale that you apparently also adhere to, which is I don't have to put up with people on opening weekend. I just don't have to. I can live with it. I can wait to see it later.
The opposite Randall.
Yeah. Whereas me, it's not so much this. I'll tell you, the real motivator, it isn't the zeitgeist of the moment, although that is kind of cool. But let's admit it, you miss some of the best lines. The movie theater's audio system isn't as good as the one I have at home. There's a lot of reasons I don't like going to the movies. But when it came to this, because I didn't have to go see Black Panther right away, I was able to wait on that one. I didn't. As a matter of fact, like Guardians as well, I didn't have to go see it opening night. But for some reason, there are certain event films. And I think so far, what I can tell you is, Trent, it's because I'm a sucker. Because they put in the advertising either, like with this one. Okay, first of all, Last Jedi, right there in the ads. Don't let anyone spoil this for you.
Yeah.
I was a sucker for it. First showing I could on Thursday night. Because Thursday night is the new Friday. I still don't understand it. It's the new math, drives the kids nuts.
It's like college, Weekend starts on Wednesday night.
I blame it on the I blame it on the Common Core math. That's what it is. It's it's just the whole Common Core program. It screwed everything up. But neither here nor there. I don't want to get into that. So
leaving no child behind.
So with the Infinity War a few weeks ago, cute graphic. The gauntlet letter from Marvel saying, please, so much, a decade in the building. Don't spoil it as these viewings start happening around the world. I fell for it because I was like, no, I'm going to be there first showing I can because I'm not going to let anyone spoil this for me. And I'll tell you that the media itself, even in trying to appear not spoilerish, they still are spoilerish. I think it's safe to assume, but it's not necessarily safe to assume that somebody may or may not die in this movie, right? But then you start seeing ads that are running in the news, and they're saying, they're saying what they're saying. More in the next section. And it's just kind of like, even that is a spoiler in itself in some way. Yeah. I know I saw, oh gosh, I can't remember his name right now, and I don't have Twitter up in front of me. What's wrong with me? But he is the guy that does the storyboarding for for like the Flash and Supergirl. I am so sorry, I'm forgetting, dude. It's just, and I don't have time to look it up right now. But he just even went nuts because it was like an article about why the writers didn't put Adam Warlock into Infinity War, right?
Right, yeah.
At which point,
yeah,
he got pissed off and he said, "Look, guys, even this is a spoiler, somewhat."
true.
So,
True.
I'm not here to discuss the whole points of spoilers or not, though. That's not what we're here for, other than the fact we're trying not to reveal any. Anyway, I had to go see it, and I learned a very valuable lesson that was really cool if you can put up with it, which is literally what I had to do in the very beginning, because action sequences in 3D don't necessarily thrill me. The process relies on you having your focus in the right place in order to enjoy it, and action sequences are too fast. What I'm getting at, Trent, is I learned from my movie theater that they don't have you line up outside for the 3D showings because those sumbitches don't sell out. And
is it because that's, and I haven't seen any data on this, but it would be interesting to look at whether or not the sales are actually going down as well, because I remember, you and I've even talked about when 3D started becoming very popular again, how is this just a fad, is this, and the industry was very behind it, under the guise of this is a way to prevent pirating, but we were all like, yeah, and it's also a way to make you pay more for it.
Exactly.
Do you think that's really what it is? Is it's the cost benefit ratio just doesn't equal out?
Well, I had tickets to a standard showing for Thursday night, but then because I was trying to be a reasonable parent, it was my daughter's open house night, so we would have to go to that, but I also had to find a showing that would end within enough time to her to get home and get enough rest to be good for school the next day.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, even in my rabid fandom, I was trying to think like a good parent, because I don't act like one, but I'm trying to think like one, Trent, as much as I can.
And thoughts are where our actions come from.
Exactly. And I think about doing all kinds of things. Wait a minute. I don't even know how that sounded. Never mind.
It works.
Whatever. Just roll with it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I found out they don't sell out. But in going to that, I mean, the ticket premium did increase. So if you think about it, you could probably, I don't know what the cost of the glasses and sanitizing them, but I'm sure they pay 25 cents a pop for them. So reasonably
I
speaking,
think they just throw them away, don't they?
No, out here anyway, they have little bins you put them in, and they're supposed to go off and be recycled. So, I don't know what happened. I mean, it should, even if it just goes to real 3D and they run them through a steamer and repackage them, I don't care as long as the grease and other people are off of it.
Right.
But if you think about it, like the premium markup for every regular ticket that's sold, it's not as much as an IMAX ticket, but it is a cheap way to do markup on what may be a dead theater at the time anyway.
Right.
Because you're getting a ticket and a half for each person that's going, essentially.
Yeah.
Whereas my second favorite thing of the weekend. So let me try and get back on topic here. We went to the 7:30 showing. We were there an hour early. I'm standing outside. There's no line. I go in to ask him, like, where does the 3D line up? And the guy goes out and he looks out. Where's the 3D? And then somebody says, oh, okay. He's like, you guys can just go in. They don't ever sell out like this, so you can just go in.
Walk in. It's fine.
Literally, first ones in the theater opening night,
nice. I saw the picture you posted. It was empty.
Yeah, and by the time the showing happened, it wasn't even at half capacity, but it was still. For 3D, that means whatever the markup is, you're doing pretty well. I had no complaints other than, it bothered actually my daughter. She, started to get a headache because that's what happens. It relies on you being focused in just the right spot.
Yep.
And if you're not, you'll have motion. I mean, and as a guy who has vertigo, I don't dig it very much either.
Oh, I can't imagine, dude.
Yeah, just, but then again, I can still play first-person shooter, so who's to complain?
Yeah.
So got to see it in a great situation that showing. It wasn't crowded. I was able to hear every one of the follow-up beats because a lot of this movie, that's the other thing too, guys, it does have funny moments, and just like Rick and so many other people tell us, comedy comes in threes, and they stuck to that rule, and I appreciated it.
I feel that in this film, as opposed to other ones, though, and you addressed it at the beginning, that it does come off with such a huge gut punch that there is a reluctance to really buy into the humor, though, at least on first viewing with the audience I was in. The parts that were very funny, it was almost, I'd liken it almost to like a Japanese professional wrestling match, in that everyone was just way more reserved than they would have been. It was like,
Thank you for framing that into a reference that I both could completely understand yet not understand at the same time. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
a what? A Japanese wrestling match?
yeah, like the audience, like if you go to a WWE match, the fans are like, booing and cheering and being, but if you go to a Japanese wrestling match, the fans are very subdued and they clap more than they cheer. There's just like, there's a reluctance to really buy into the humor. And I don't know if that's because of how it starts off or how it's been prefaced in media and ourselves as well, talking about like, oh, the spoilers are so big, we can't ruin it for anyone, that everyone's like, okay, on to the next thing now. Oh, when's it going to come?
I appreciated the beats of humor that were in there. I definitely
I did
enjoyed
too.
them.
Yeah. I just, at least in my audience, people, there was a reluctance to really buy into the humor when you know what's coming.
Well, and that's the thing too. If you guys look, I went into this theater and I had some strict and hard rules. Didn't matter what size soda I had, I wasn't drinking it until the movie started. And secondly, I had no liquids in the hour preceding the movie. What I'm saying
nice,
is
smart.
I wanted 2.5 hours, and getting to the theater early and everything, that's like a 4-hour commitment. I'm going to get through this movie with some relief, right? So and I understand preparation, but I was completely in, and I'm warning you all now. If you haven't seen it yet, you put it off to the second weekend. Good luck getting through this week. We're rooting on you. We're counting on you. But if you are not, if you have to wait, then I'm going to tell you right now, this movie, like you said, no pee breaks. It starts.
Yeah. No, there's not. There's really not.
It starts with basically action. I believe it doesn't take a breath until at least 40 minutes in, and even that breath is just like it's a momentary thing of exposition to bring other characters in and have things splinter off.
Yeah.
And then
it's a change of scene. It's not. Yeah.
Boom, right into another thing. Boom, right into another thing. There's not a lot of exposition moments in this movie.
Speaking of well, people seen it. Our good friend Router Ninja is via the Facebooks is telling us that, dude, I am literally sitting in the theater now watching the end credits. My daughter has been ugly crying for the last 10 minutes.
Dude, okay, that's a thing. When I came out of the first showing I went to, right, without saying anything about what happened.
Yeah.
And mind you, I'm walking out with my 14-year-old daughter. But there was another family that was consoling another girl around the same age who was a wreck. I mean, she was devastated.
I freaking love it.
Yeah, so, and that's probably saying too much. But it killed me because it was just like that wide gambit. And folks, when you get into the spoilers episode, we're going to start off with what I'm going to call the common sense, which is, regardless of your tepidation about the way this movie transpired, I have literally just all the economic reasons why you have nothing to worry about.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. And I watch Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And read comic books, so I know how things work.
Later in this later. That's.
But that being said, I'm someone, I openly ugly cry while watching Steven Universe. I am a wreck every time Steve Rogers has to say goodbye on the airplane and not get his last dance, right? Just bawling my eyes out. And wasn't really that affected throughout this whole film.
Yeah.
And we'll get into why in the spoilers.
Fair enough. I can appreciate that. I have to tell you, I probably should have gotten choked up at points in this movie, and I didn't. But
yeah.
But I'll, like you said, in the later section.
I got way more choked up in Guardians 2.
Oh yeah, but that was
Guardians 1 for sure.
Oh god.
Oh.
You're just.
Yeah.
Oh. Take my hand, Peter. Oh, right. Those words.
Yeah.
More in the next section. So that was my first viewing. It was that. The girl was devastated, but the theater didn't get packed, so it was comfortable too. You know, it never got hot and disgusting. Then my second viewing was my favorite. I went with, well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the viewing with my daughter. But we went
more comfortable maybe because you're not in the 3Ds.
Well, we went to a standard showing, yes, but it was also the very first one on Sunday, and I'm just so pissed off at myself. And these are now I'm going to feel stupid about what I was saying. I was so pissed off at myself for, but I really wanted to take a picture of just the marquee that says the movie and the time, and just say next mass in X number of minutes, right? Because it's our next service. Because I'm there on a Sunday, but it was first showing. Tickets $5.92 a person, dude.
Yeah, you can't beat that, man.
No, and
me?
No, and we hardly even did anything at the concession stand. But also, I'm glad we did go early to that one. We got there about 45 minutes before it started, and we got the exact seats my wife wanted, which is perfect. Because that's what I say. When I go to the movies with her, it's like wherever you want to sit, wherever you'll be most comfortable is where I'm most comfortable. Yeah. So whatever it is, rides. You know, I also had the leeway of saying, I've already seen the movie. I could be in any part of this theater and enjoy it just fine.
Yeah.
You know, but let's go with the gallant approach, if you will. Gallant approach. Haven't seen it. Won't be listening to the
like
part
gallant
B. Sorry, Carval.
Because it's kind of like gauntlet. An anagram.
I see what you're doing there. So the second showing, I'm glad we got when we did, because that one did end up filling up. But now, and I got to tell you again, folks, it helps to know your layout. I'm not saying this like a creepy person that's looking to raid a place or knock the building over, but I know every exit for every theater that we go in, not because I'm paranoid about who could be coming through, but because I want to be able to get to the bathroom as soon as I can after the movie.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And like any one of these auditorium seatings, commonly there is going to be, especially if there is a service area for the handy-capable, because I don't know what the hell else to say now, and I'm worried about political correctness, because you can't even have a White House Correspondents' Dinner with a roast, and now people are finding a way to fly off the handle about that. But you know what? We're not a political talk show, so let's move on.
Okay.
Typically, if you have that, then you're also going to have an upstairs exit and even an elevator possibly at your use. So we like to sit in the back so that nobody was behind us. And then whenever we wanted to leave, because Marvel movies have people trained not to go.
Sure.
We literally could just walk right across there, go out, and leave the theater, no problem. So that's one of the many reasons why it was a great showing. But also the audio was good. Again, I don't know about the theater you're in, Trent, or if I'm spoiled because of the ultra bright LED TVs we have now, but the pictures just don't look bright in my movie theater, or they're just not willing to put the money into the infrastructure. I don't know what it is.
Well, I mean, in both viewings, the 3D one, obviously, because it is darkened by the glasses.
Secondary one as well. And this is the same theater I saw Homecoming in, and I had the same complaint. And I know you're thinking, do I keep going? My options are limited.
I didn't necessarily notice a lighting or contrast problem, but one part I did find weird, and I don't think it's a spoiler, is especially at the beginning where we first hear Rocket start speaking, the ADR was noticeably different from all the live action characters. His voice just it was almost muffled, and I didn't know if that was a speaker thing, but everyone else sounded a lot more clear than he did.
Yeah, I didn't experience that on our end. You can hear him really well.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, too, that I will say about this movie. The way that they at least told the story, I like the way they, and it might be a little spoilerish, but I just like the way that they didn't try to tie all of the heroes together in the same place. It was, the story traveled in a logical fashion for me in parts where you had different things happening. Once again, though, I will say with the end sequence, it's like the same issue I had with The Last Jedi. We're seeing events unfold, and there's this constant jump to other things to where it fractures my perception of time. Because, like, the way that one fight is represented in this movie, it realistically could have been a whole whopping 5.5 minutes. But the way it's divvied up with cutaways to other things, it's like, wow, this stuff's been going on forever. It
Yeah.
messes with my perception of how long things are. So it takes me out of the moment when those things happen. But I think they found a good balance in this movie, and that was what was important. And I think that the ending surprised me the most because they had the balls to do it in some respects. So you're not impressed.
Meh.
Trent's not impressed. I accept
Meh.
that. Well, Trent, let's.
I've been to too many Comic Cons.
Well, it's kind of hard. I mean, this one even has wizards in it, so what?
Exactly.
So I don't know your feeling about wizards. Let's not go there. I want to wrap up on some non-Avenger news for everyone. Matthew Floyd says on the Facebooks, this movie gets a pass where Last Jedi doesn't. Fair enough. But Last Jedi did that too with its battle sequence. That's why I brought it up. It's kind of like you have all this stuff going on over here and on the ship and then on the ship and then on the planet.
Last Jedi's, I felt the pacing was way different and drawn out for essentially what was a straight line.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I think I don't know if you go. I could now because it's already on home video, but I don't know if you look at it if they constantly tie because finish one sentence. Well, I don't know if they constantly tried to tie time together by seeing like the same spaceship being blown up, but from the different perspectives. If Rian Johnson did that, I'd have a lot more respect for it because it does give me an ability to try and anchor the series of events here.
Right.
But it was very hard for me to do that in Last Jedi because my mind just starts drifting to holy shit, they've really been blowing the hell out of this little fleet for quite some time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like you just imagine being on the ship that Leia was on. And you're just thinking, wow, that is a long time to sit and watch all of your friends get killed. I mean, I don't mean to bring it dark, but realistically, that's what was going on screen. Anyway, so a little bit of that with this movie. But like you said, it was a cohesive enough story that there was never a moment I would have even entertained getting up to leave the theater. As a matter of fact, we'll talk about it in the next section. I'll tell you the one moment that I think people that I saw go to the bathroom was the probably most regrettable moment to go.
Oh,
right. and you can say
unless maybe they have like IBS, and then hey, I'm sorry, and thank you for your service.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how you tie those together, but okay. All right, folks. So if you are ready to continue the conversation via Twitter and just listen to us or watch us on, just listen to us. Screw it. That's NetHeadsOnAir.com live. We're going to now switch into the much briefer discussion than we've had now about spoilers because there's only so long you can talk about. But like literally, I can just map out all the beats I liked. I can tell you what I didn't like. And so if you want to hear our opinion of that, because only I say this because Kevin hasn't released his yet, so maybe some people might give a shit about ours.
Right.
You can go ahead and follow us either over to that if you're watching live, or you can also join us over on. And by the way, if you are listening to us audio-wise now, you'll hear this show end. That's your time to go do something else. Yes, I'm telling you not to listen if you don't want to hear spoilers.
Take a break.
Yeah, exactly. Just give it a break. Just step away for a little while.
Yep, take a break.
Take a breather. There's there might be something good on TV right now. Who knows?
That's also a command I have for my dog when he's kind of being annoying.
Oh, really?
Like when he's being too needy. Yeah, it's take a break.
Oh, and now he's like, wait, what did I do?
And then he just looked up like, I am taking a break.
What are you, dude? Like now I can't breathe. What the hell?
I am break taking.
Okay, wait, Trent. I did want to say the one thing. It's like bring it in on some non-Avenger news. I found this interesting today, of all days.
Oh.
We we got news and a look at something. Originally, we called it the Atari box, but now it's the Atari VCS. So whatever their video console system, I'm just guessing.
Oh.
is, whatever it's going to be running, they got a name for it now, and this is courtesy of Forbes if you want to read more about it, but they have released it. According to the release that just hit the wire, the presale is an exclusive to Indiegogo that could happen, or that will start on May 30th of 2018. It's the collector's edition. It sports the retro-inspired wood grain front bezel, reminiscent of the original. This is a typo. The original Atari VCS, but well, I guess it would be a video cartridge system. Video cartridge system is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to make up what the acronyms are, let's go for broke, man. It's the
video cartridge systems, because
it's the visceral carnage saver.
Runs off the broken bones of children.
My crushed dreams. The broken bones of my crushed dreams, or as I call them, every waking moment.
Being alive.
So that's cool to hear about, though. I'm interested to see. I still have no clue what it does. Nothing.
So it's a retro system, right? Not unlike the Nintendo Classic.
I don't know if it is, because they do have like one of the special limited edition things, or maybe it's an accessory, but they do have what looks kind of like an old school Atari joystick. Boy, does that bring back. You remember the frustration when one of those frickers would break, like the button would stop working, or it just wouldn't go left anymore?
I never had them break, but when I would go over to the Jacksons and I would get babysat, boy, I'd get pissed off trying to play video games on them, because I was used to my Sega Master System.
Oh, man, and that Atari 2600 just had you slumming, my friend. So they had that joystick, and then they have something that looks a little more comparable to the handheld with the clutches, thumb and joystick, and X, Y, Z, C, B, G, A, whatever the buttons are on the video game controllers. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's not my job to follow them, all right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it is. We're supposed to be a tech podcast. Anyway, so that's interesting. I'm interested to hear more.
Yeah.
Oh, here, apparently reading comprehension is important, Trent. It says the VCS will have support for 4K resolution, HDR, 60 frames per second content. It'll have an onboard and expandable storage option, dual band Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5, as well as USB 3 support. It'll include a copy of the Atari Vault with more than 100 classic games, including favorites like Asteroid, Centipede, Breakout. I always love that they put Yar's Revenge in here. I feel like I bring up that game, and I'm the only one that ever played it as a kid.
Yeah, and I only know it having spoken with you, it'd be like, the hell's Yar's Revenge?
The arcade cabinet it's waiting for plexiglass and stuff still, as well as me putting my licensed content on there. As soon as I figure out all of the ones that are joystick compatible, I'm now suddenly thinking I need a USB trackball to be able to play the other games, that it just plugs in on the back or something.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or even better, maybe I could set me up like a little carousel of controllers, so I could just hit the latch and spin it, and then it's this. It would never do that.
You could do it's video game roulette. Okay, now I have to play Street Fighter 2 Turbo with stop, and then you're like, oh man, N64 controller,
weak. But I happened to put Yar's Revenge on, and I was very, I thought it would be like riding a bike, but I couldn't remember one goddamn objective, not one. I only knew that I have to either hit the ship that's in the middle with some type of power beam I can generate, and I could get a bonus point when the swirling ball of death would come from that little area I'm trying to infiltrate and come out. If you could hit that, it was like a big bonus, I think. I can't remember. Nobody cares.
We used to hit womp rats that size, and they're no bigger than a... Sorry, you just...
No,
it sounded like you were describing...
I don't know.
Destroying the Death Star.
I just want to thank you for actually pulling out at least a nice Star Wars reference to get us out of the death spiral of me describing Yar's Revenge.
Yar's Revenge.
Thank you very much, folks, for listening. There is no coming back from this. We really appreciate it. Till next time, or 3 minutes from now. My name is Will.
And I'm Trent.
And boy, howdy, will we be back.
Soon.
Yes, that's the way we do that.
Zune.
Wait, are you saying Zune, like the Microsoft Zune?
You know what? The Zune, short-lived.
Yeah. Well, I'm Peter Quill. No sign of the Zune, by the way, in Infinity War. I'm just putting that out there. But they were listening to another song, so who knows? Oh yeah, sorry. We'll be back
soon.
Yeah. Oh, I got to go over here and press my pants. Nope, that's not it. Oh, look. I broke it. I pulled up a new screen. Would you just play the audio? Yes, discard the current recording session. Now play the audio file so we can please get out.
He's got to throw some cold water on the
No.
situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
Bad monkey. Shh, no, here.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. Signing off. I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it. NetHeads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.
All right, this is it, guys. Pull the ripcord. However you're watching us, get out now, because we are about to start in 3, 2... Wait, I don't want to get into that. We'll be back in just a second, but the video's going away now. Say goodbye, Trent.
Goodbye, Trent.